Andrew, you ready, buddy?
Absolutely.
All right. Ariel, can you give it over to Andrew, sir? Welcome. So, again, my name is Ryan Yarbrough. I am a regional tech director, but we have Andrew Hicks, who is an amazing market center tech trainer for 3 market centers. He is over the Clearwater, the Bel Air, and the Tampa office in the Tampa Bay area. So welcome, and you're going to teach us today about closing 50 deals a year with a solid data bank in command. We just heard from Justin Himmelbaum, and that's exactly how he built his business. So why don't you take it away?
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for having me. I'm Andrew Hicks, as Ryan mentioned, the MCTT for the Ubaldini group here over in Tampa. This section is actually pretty great to follow up right after Justin. Justin talked a lot about staying in contact, staying top of mind with people, and not so much trying to close a deal as soon as you talk to somebody. Even if it's somebody that you've known for a while, just talk to them, stay in conversation. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be learning about how to add everybody in your database to the DTD2 plan. So what I want to do first, does everybody know how to raise their hand on Zoom? I know we've been doing it for a while. Hopefully everybody does. If you know how to raise their hand on Zoom, go ahead and raise your hand.
Hey, Andrew, can I ask a dumb question real quick?
Yeah.
What's DTD2?
DTD2 is do the database twice, which it's basically a quarterly call plan. It's a way to remind you to contact people within your database. Now, I know there's a lot of people that use Command for more than just business. I know a lot of people add their entire family, all of their friends to their database. They can put them on that plan to remind them to stay in touch with them. I'm not perfect. I have to remind myself to call people in my family as well, because things get sometimes a little bit too busy. So we've got a lot of people raising their hand. All right, we've got a good amount. You got to go ahead and lower your hands, everybody. Last person to lower their hand has to come on and talk for 20 minutes. I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that to you. So how many people here are currently using the DTD2 Smart Plan or using that system with their database? Go ahead and raise your hand if you are. All right. I'm going to pick on one person, somebody who is not using it. Do you know what it is? And have you tried to use it before effectively? All right, so this is some new information. Very good. So a lot of people know about it. Not too many people are using it. So basically what it does is it's going to tell you that, oh wait, I think, who was raising their hand? I think Brett, did you have something to say on it?
No.
Or just raise your hand.
Sorry, trying to figure out how to lower it.
Okay, no problem. So what it does is it just reminds you to go through and call your database. It reminds you to call 5 people each day, and the goal is to get through your entire database within a year. Now we have a schedule that we follow, and what we do is we tag all of our contacts with a specific tag, and then during a specific week, we're going to call all those people with that tag. Now there's a lot that goes into it with the way that they chose the names of these tags, mainly the distribution of last names. We want to make sure that we're able to get through everybody. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and send something in the chat here. I want everybody to go ahead and click on that link. And you'll want to bookmark this, download the PDF. This is the schedule that we use to call through our database. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here with you all. Just get that up here. And we're going to start off by opening that up here. Bear with me just a moment. Right, it's a little bit more difficult without 2 screens here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. The link to what I'm about to show you is inside of the chat. So download it, bookmark it, make sure that you have this somewhere, because this is going to be your game plan to contact everybody in your database and eventually get 50 deals if you have enough people. So you'll notice here, this is starting from January 4th. We have a tag for A and W. So everybody who's in our database whose last name starts with A or a W is going to have that tag. We're going to add them onto a smart plan to remind us to give them a call every 90 days. Same thing with this B and E, this D and O, this H and V. The idea is to get through your database twice within 1 year. So it's even got a couple of helpful steps here. If you haven't created tags, we're going to create those tags. we're going to tag our database. For each date above, we create a task forum, which we already have that created for you in the form of a smart plan. Each Monday, filter your contacts through it, add them onto that smart plan. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen sharing here. And yep, Brett said if you just took bowl, the DT-D2 was provided there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to jump right into Command. Now, Command is only really a tool that's meant to help us and to help us remind ourselves to actually make these calls. The most important thing inside of this entire system is you. You have to pick up the phone and give them a call. Now, anytime I talk about something extremely important, I'm going to go ahead and do something like this to make sure that you're all paying attention. So if you hear that air horn, that means you should wake up and pay attention. So what we want to do is we first want to go through and create our tags. Now you saw that big list of tags that we had. The easiest way to add those tags into our database is to hit your name in the upper right. We go into settings. From there, we go into command settings. And then we're going to go to our contacts. Now from here, we can click on our contact tags. And this is where we can create tags. We can remove tags if we wanted to. Let me just check on the chat here real quick. It's a little bit difficult with all of the, without having two screens here. So from that document I added inside of the chat previously, we can go through and create our tags. So I'm going to choose create tag.
I'll keep an eye on it for you, Andrew.
All right,
Not to
well,
worry
thank
about
you. Appreciate that. Yeah, and we also have all of our awesome MCTTs in here all day to help us out with answering these questions. So that is wonderful. So let me see here. So we need an A and W tag. So last names that start with A and W. I'm gonna give it a nice little color here. I'll choose yellow. That sounds good. We'll create. Go ahead and create another tag for our next group of last names, which is B and E. We hit create and so on and so forth. It may take you about 10 minutes to get through all of them, but we want to make sure that we create those tags first because it makes it a little bit easier as we go along. So we've got D and O. Choose green. We'll hit create. Now, once we go through and create all of our tags, I'm not going to sit here and go through all of it with you right now on creating those. It's going to be a little bit tedious, but once we create all those tags, we go back to the home page in Command. What we need to do is go through our database and tag every single contact with those specific tags based on their last names. So in order to do that, if we hit the red KW in the upper left-hand corner, it expands that sidebar and tells us exactly what each of these little widgets are. Makes it a little bit easier rather than reading these hieroglyphics here. So we're gonna hit KW, we're gonna go to contacts. And you can see my database is not very large. I don't do a whole lot of business. Don't really do any of it because I just focus on technology. But what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to filter our last names. So if we go to name here at the very top, and it makes it easier if you hit this show 1 through 17, change it to 500. If you have a large database, it'll make it a lot easier to get through. For me, I'm just going to choose 50. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit name. And I'm going to sort by a last name, A through Z. So now we have them sorted ascending based on their last names. So the people that have a B last name starting with B, I'm going to be putting them onto the, let's double check here, the B and E tag. So anybody in my database that has a last name that starts with a B or an E is going to get that tag. So it looks like I've only got 1, 2 people, 3 people here. So in order to tag all these people at once, if I just select each of these check marks here, and I can choose select bulk action, add those bulk tags, and I can just start searching for that tag. That way I don't have to scroll through all of it. I can just put in a B. You can see I've got B and E, not breaking and entering. These are the last names. So I'll choose B and E. We'll hit submit. And now you can see once I refresh my command here.
Andrew, you just made Arlene very happy. She says, oh my gosh, this is great.
Yeah, very good. Arlene, congratulations. Glad I was able to help out. So what we're going to do, bear with me here. once my command refreshes. Now I'm in a lot of labs and I test a lot of stuff in command, so my command runs extremely slowly. Sometimes it's broken. Yours should have no problem refreshing. There we go. We are back up and running. So you can see if I sort by that last name, ascending, I'll have my B and E tags for Bilbo, Frodo, and Michael Bluth. Now, what we would do is we would just go through and we would tag those people with those specific tags based on that last name. So if we wanted to go to the G's, we can go through here and you can see I've even got my grandma on here to remind myself to give her a call, which I should probably do today. So the G tag, let's see what we got here, is F and G. So anybody whose last name that starts with an F or a G is going to get that tag. Looks like that might be all I've got here. Oh, no, it looks like I got Gandalf the Grey, my grandma, Samwise Gamgee. And it looks like we don't have any Fs. So I'm going to go ahead and tag those people with the F and G tag. Now, I don't believe I created one in the beginning. If I forgot to, I can create it on the fly as well. So once I select those people, we do that select bulk action again. We're going to add those bulk tags. And you can see I don't have that tag created yet. Not a huge deal. I can create it right here. So F and G. And I can create custom tag. We'll hit add. And now we have that tag created and we can keep reusing it as much as we'd like to. So does anybody have any questions on what we've gone over so far? Just to do a quick recap, all we've done, we went to our tags, we created them based on that DTD2 schedule. We went through our database, we tagged those people with the corresponding tag for the last name. And now we're ready to actually put them onto a smart plan to remind ourselves to give them a call. And there's a couple other things we can do as well with smart plans to enhance that experience. So I'm going to do a quick pause here and ask, are there any questions on what we've gone over so far? All right, so yep, looks like somebody's asking how we can. Go ahead. All right. Well, somebody asked how we can add a tag. So to add a tag.
Actually, it's me.
So you sound a little bit like a robot. It looks like the connection may be poor. If anybody has a question, go ahead and try to raise your hand. All right. Well, again, this recording will be made available to all of you to download and rewatch as you'd like to. You can pause it if I go too fast. You can rewind it. Do anything you'd like to get the most out of it. I'll go and answer that question real quick though. To bulk tag people, if we just select those people right here by hitting these check boxes, we can choose select bulk action along the top bar here. And we're going to choose add bulk tags, and that is an H. So it looks like I do not have an H. Gary, you got a question for us today?
No, I'm okay.
It looks like connection may be poor. Go ahead and try to type that out in the chat, and then we'll get to you there. So, like I said, just to recap, this is the most time-consuming part about doing the DTD2 is going through and tagging them. Once you create those contact tags, you knock through all of your database by tagging them with those corresponding tags we created. Then you're ready to get started. The next part is we're going to add them to a smart plan. And that's going to remind us to give them a call at the specified time. So as we can see here, we've got them all tagged. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we download the correct smart plan. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this red KW in the upper left to expand all the widgets on the side. I'm going to go to my smart plans. And we are lucky enough to have the smart plan created for us already. All we have to do is download it. And if you're not familiar with our smart plan library, you can download smart plans from some of our top agents within KW that they've created, some directly from Keller Williams themselves. So it's definitely a great resource, and it's as easy as finding the smart plan, which in this case, it's actually the long-term nurture. I'm sorry, I do not believe it is that. Just a quick moment. So it's actually called the quarterly call plan. So to search for that, if we just search for quarterly, you'll see we've got this quarterly call plan that comes up right here. It was created by Keller Williams. We have 3 steps. So there are 3 actions with this smart plan. It lasts 91 days. And there is 1 touch, which means that we're going to interact with our clients 1 time during that 90 days. Now, if you want to go through and explore these smart plans, there are thousands of them. If you want to see what they do, if you click on View Steps, and then hover over the step here, and it's going to give you an explanation of what you're going to be doing. This one says we're going to call contact first name, contact last name, contact phone number as part of the quarterly call smart plan. Now, those words inside of those brackets are going to be replaced by the name of your contact, and it's going to replace that with their contact phone number as well. And you can see it waits 90 days, then it repeats it again. So that way you're able to stay in contact with your clients every 90 days. So if I hit add smart plan, it will give me the option to download it. Now I already have this inside of my smart plan library. So if you see that little circle with a line through it over the download button, that means you've already got it. So you don't have to do anything else there. Now, show of hands, how many people have used smart plans or are currently using them effectively or at all? Got some hands, very good. Very awesome. So the great thing about smart plans is you can edit them however you'd like to. So you can customize them however you'd like to. If you download one from the library and you don't like the way it's worded, you can change it. One thing that I have done is I've actually published a couple of smart plans that may be helpful to you. So I do have one here. See if I can find it, and I can search by users. So if you do want to download one of my amazing smart plans, you can search for the author name. Just search for Andrew Hicks. Might be the only one that's published under that name. Yep, sure have. So what we can do, we go through here and see these smart plans. And it's not showing up on here. So I will be publishing one. I'm sorry, I forgot to publish the smart plan before we started this. I'm going to go back to my smart plans. And I created one called First Time DTD2 Edition. Now, I'm going to go ahead and publish this to the library. That way you can all use it if you'd like to. It's a very simple smart plan. Publish. And you can see it requires the monthly neighborhood nurture smart plan to be added to it. So if you do have to download an additional one for it to work, you will have to fill that in here. There we go. Let's go ahead and publish that. There we go. So what this smart plan does, if you have not put somebody onto a monthly neighborhood nurture, or especially if you're a new agent and you've just gone through and added everybody into your database from your phone, what this is going to do is it's going to send them a little message. It's going to add them to the monthly neighborhood nurture, and it's going to let them know that you're going to be following up with them soon. So to view the steps in this smart plan, if I hit edit, we can see here, the first step is to add them to the monthly neighborhood nurture, which is going to send them out an email every month about the neighborhood that they are currently tagged with. If you added their address in there, it's going to have that neighborhood. If you've added a neighborhood to them manually, it'll show up on there. It'll give them market data for that area. And then it's also going to send them out a quick email. Yeah,
Andrew,
right.
you got a question by Chris in there. I just want to make sure you don't go too far.
Oh, sorry about that. Chris, what do we got?
Is my hand raised?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oops. My question is, how do you lower your hand?
There we go.
Sorry, guys.
That's all right. No problem. So what this does, it's very simple. And again, you can change this wording to whatever you'd like to. This sounds like I'm talking. You could change it to be more your voice, but it just says, hello, contact, first name, contact, last name. This is Andrew Hicks. I'm sending this email as well as some information about the neighborhood you live in or one you've expressed interest to me in the past. If you're interested in any other neighborhoods or areas anywhere in the US, let me know and I can include those in this monthly update. I'll be giving you a call this week to catch up. Looking forward to talking to you soon. So what that's going to do is going to send out a very simple email from whichever email address you've specified in your settings. Just basically saying, hey, I added you to a list to receive some monthly information about something you're interested in. I'm going to be following up with you later on. Let me know if I can add you to any other neighborhoods or you're looking somewhere else. So what I like to do is add this smart plan to the contacts that I have not reached out to yet or have not added to the monthly neighborhood nurture. Or if you're a brand new agent, it's a nice email to send up before you start going in and calling them. Now, as I mentioned, we downloaded that. Let's see, where was it here? Very sorry, the quarterly call plan. So that's what we're going to be using for our DTD2. Now, what we're going to do in order to add those contacts to the DTD2 smart plan, this quarterly call plan, if I go back into my contacts, we'll be able to find all these people and I can just sort by these tags. Let's say if I wanted to, and I'll slow down for a moment. If we wanted to sort by a specific tag or filter it out by a specific tag, what we can do is we can click on filters up here at the top. We can click into our tags. And let's say we're going to do the G. So we have F and G. So we'll go ahead and choose F and G. I'm going to click on save. So now we have all the people that are inside of the that have that F and G tag. So if I needed to go through here and add all these people to that quarterly call plan, I could just click on select all. We can do select bulk action. We can do add to smart plan, which is right here. And it's going to give us a list over here to the right of all the smart plans that we currently have downloaded. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll through here. We're going to find that quarterly call plan. And we've got that right here. So if I hit select, once we hit select, we've got a couple of options. Now, if you have a large database, it may be beneficial to use the option to stagger the start over the next few days. So we have the option to start them all now, which would give us 500 people to call, or however many people that have that tag, we'd have to call them immediately. We can start it on a specific date, or what we want to choose is stagger start over the next few days. So the goal here is to call everybody within that tag within a week. So you can choose how you can break that up however much you want to. We can do stagger start over the next few days. And what it's going to do is every day it's going to give us however many contacts we specify right here. So I only have 3, so it's only letting me go up to 3. But if I had a lot more, I could choose 10 contacts per day, 5 contacts per day, however many we need to in order to get through that entire tag within that week. So it may be 10, it may be 15, maybe 5, however many you need to, you want to put that on there and you'll see. So there's what, 5 business days in a week. So you could split them up that way by 5. That way, every day it's going to be adding that many contacts to that smart plan on that specified day. So if I hit, I'm going to go ahead and just hit 2 here, for example. I'm going to click on confirm. It's telling me these are the steps that are going to be happening. We're going to be giving them a phone call. It's going to wait 90 days, and it's going to repeat. So I'm going to hit confirm. Now that I added those people to that quarterly call smart plan, I'm going to have a couple of tasks to complete today. I told it to add 2 people that were inside of that tag onto my task list to give a call to every day. So today I'm going to have 2 of them. And then the 3rd day, it's going to add this last guy on here for me to call. So if I go over to my tasks, now you can see, very sorry about that. Got a couple of tags on here that I should have gotten rid of before, or tasks anyway. Here we go. So we can see I've got my task to do the quarterly call with Gandalf Gray and then also Andrew's grandma. So what I would do is I would just click on the task. It tells me I need to contact this person. I didn't actually add a phone number for this contact, so it doesn't have one to display. But if you've added the phone number on there, it's going to display their number. And the best way to go about doing this is just click on the contact. That way, if we gave them a call today and caught up with them, we can hit this nice little plus button inside of the contact card, add the activity, make sure that we log our notes of what we talked about. So we can say we called Gandalf, talked about Lord of the Rings. Now, this is going to be kind of what Justin was talking about. Whenever you're going through and making these calls, the recommendation that I've gotten from people and how they use it effectively is to not talk about real estate. Don't make that the main focus of conversation. Find out what they're doing for fun lately, find out how their family is. Just catch up with them, build that relationship with them. And while you're doing that, this is a really good time to go through and add more information to your database. So you can ask them, hey, do you still live at XYZ Street? Or is blah, blah, blah still your email? I've got some really cool information I can send out for you. You can also take that time to go find them on Facebook, make sure all that information on there matches what you have inside of Command, and add their Facebook profile into Command as well. That way you get more information for each of your contacts. So you're going through, you're building that relationship, you're adding more information to your database, you're getting that health score way up. And you could maybe even close the call with, well, if you have any real estate related questions, feel free to ask me anytime. Or if you know of anybody who currently has any real estate needs, let them know that I'm around, or they may even give you their contact information. So the main point of this, whenever you go to actually give them a call, is to not make it completely about real estate. Catch up with them, nurture that relationship, become somebody that they trust. That way you can work with them in the future and they'll know to come to you. Now, I know I went through a couple more steps on there a little bit more quickly, but just to recap as to where we're at right now. So far, all we did, we created our contact tags. We went through and tagged our database. We added them to that quarterly call smart plan. And then we went to our tasks and we started calling our people. Now, again, this is a very important part. So I'm going to go ahead and use the air horn. So if you are paying attention, cover your ears. You can see Ryan looked up there. So the most important thing is that you're the critical step inside of this smart plan, inside of this system overall. You can tag your database all you want to. You can add them to 100,000 smart plans. You can have tasks every day for everything you need to do. Unless you do it, it's not going to work. So you need to make sure that you go through and you make those calls based on those tasks. We've already set everything up so that you know exactly who you need to call. Splice it up into a manageable number of phone calls per day where you can just sit down and give them a call them from your car, wherever you need to. But the most important thing, again, I'll reiterate it, is you have to sit down and give these people a call. Now, that's really it for the DTD2. You just follow that schedule that I put into the chat previously, and I'll go ahead and drop that in there again. There we go. All right. So are there any questions about DTD2, adding tags, the whole system of getting this set up? If you have a question, you can raise your digital hand or throw it in the chat. All right, very good. Now, is there anybody here that is using the DTD2 system and doing well with it? Any sort of pitfalls you can let us know about to look out for, or any sort of helpful information?
Andrew, you have a question in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
They said, how do you create automated emails in smart plans rather than having emails become tasks?
Yeah, so what you'll have to do for that is you'll have to make sure that you have command mail set up. That's the system that it uses to send out an email from a smart plan. So let me just go over that part real quick, because that's going to be the very first step to having those automated emails. So to set that up, what you'll do is you'll click on your name in the upper right, choose settings. From here, we're going to scroll through our list of applications that are connected. And we're going to go all the way down to command email. So what you want to do is you'll want to click on manage. And this is where you're going to set the reply to email. So this is what the email is going to look like it's coming from whenever you send that smart plan. So I want them to see my email coming, the reply to email as andrewhicks@kw.com. So when I send that email out, whenever they hit reply, it's going to go right to me. You can choose the name that it's going to show up as who it's going to be sent from. And then if you do make any changes, hit save changes. That way, whenever we go to our smart plans here on the side, whenever we go to add a specific task for an email, or whenever we go to edit one, if it is from the send email right here, if we choose that, we'll make sure that it shows up as being automatically sent out. Did that answer your question, or is there any follow-up questions on that?
Andrew, I just wanted to point out, since you're showing how to connect that, you've
Mhm.
also got MailChimp in there. So just want to make sure everybody's aware that that is another service available. However, it's up to you to choose which one you want to use. Command Mail gives you 5,000 emails, and MailChimp gives you 2,000 emails. Beyond that, you'd have to pay more, and MailChimp is a lot more expensive. So just an FYI on that.
Yeah, you can absolutely use MailChimp as well. And this is kind of out of the scope of this training since we're really just talking about DTD2, but I know Dora's going to be going over working with designs. You can use designs to create formatted emails with your logo, your branded header along the top, buttons, videos, all kinds of things to be embedded directly in that email to make it look really nice and flashy. So you can always use those as well. All right, and do we have any other questions on here that anybody would like to
Doreen
go
just
on?
asked about text messages. It's the same process you just showed, though. You just would connect Twilio instead of Command Mail.
Yes, Twilio is our automated text messaging service. You can use that to automatically send text out via smart plans. The one thing that I would look out for is that whenever you send that text message to them, if it's the first one, there's going to be an automated message saying, "Hi, this is an automated message. Please reply stop if you'd like to stop receiving these text messages." So it may be a good idea to create a smart plan or that first text that you send out, say something like, "Hey, this is actually me. This is my office line. This is not an automated text message. If you need anything, let me know. Call me on this number, text me on this number. I'll be able to get right back with you." And actually, speaking on that, I actually created one for you if you did want to search it and use that. If I go to the library, again, where we can download smart plans that are published by other people, I'm going to search for myself here. And you can see we've got first Twilio text. And the steps on that is that it sends out a text message saying, "Hello, contact first name, last name. This is your first name, last name. The number I'm texting you from is my office line. There may be a message at the beginning of this text message saying it's automated. I can assure you it's not. If you need anything, feel free to text back or give me a call." And it just has your name at the bottom. So if you wanted to use that one, feel free to go download it, use it. That way the first text message that gets sent out to them has that disclaimer already, and they don't just hit stop.
That's pretty smart.
Yep, yeah, feel free to take that, use that. It is a good idea because a lot of people, as soon as they see that stop, they just hit stop. So are there any other questions about that DTD2 system or contacts or smart plans in general? Actually, I'm happy to help answer anything on those as well. Looks like most people might be asleep here. So if there's any questions on contacts or those smart plans, feel free to raise your hand here. Is there anybody that is using DTD2, Ryan? I know that you, oh, actually, never mind. We got Lainey. What do you got for us, Lainey?
So I have a question. So when we start our Twilio account, we want to send that first text out to them. We're just going to just do a blanket, send that text out, or are we going to send it when we do our any smart plan that has a text in it?
So what I would recommend, yeah, if you've if it's your first time using Twilio and you're adding them to a smart plan with those automated ones, I would say just go through and add those people first, that my first time Twilio Tech smart plan, and then add them to the smart plan you're trying to add them to.
Got it. Okay.
You can always look back in the contact if you have texted them via Twilio, and there's going to be a record saying, what that text said. You can reply to it from there. That way, if you're not sure if you added a contact to that yet and they already got it, you can just jump in that contact and double check.
Okay.
Somebody's
thank
asking if
you.
you'll repeat that tip again about the stopping text.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is something very important to know about Twilio, and the reason why we have this set up the way we do is so that we don't get sued for that TCPA thing. That's horrifying and not fun. Whenever you send out a text message using Twilio, whenever you, like I said, add somebody to a smart plan that has that automated text message, the first message that comes up, even before yours, is going to say, this is an automated text message from Twilio. If you would not like to receive messages like this in the future, please text back stop. So before they even read your content, in some cases, they might catch that information on there and they may just ignore it. So what you can do is you can download this smart plan I created for you, or you can create your own. But what this does is it just sends out a text message as the very first text that you send out to that person saying, hello, full name. This is my full name. The number I'm texting you from is my office line. There may be a message at the beginning of this text saying it's automated. I can assure you it's not. If you need anything, feel free to text back or give me a call. That's all it does there. And if you plan on using Twilio to a very high degree with your clients, and you're going to be texting through command a lot, I would say just send that out to as many people as you can on there. But yeah, do we have any other, yeah, no problem, Gregory. Any other questions on contacts, smart plans, DTD2, tagging, contacts in general? Is
So you can
anybody
do
gonna
your,
be using the DTD2 system? Raise your hand if you're playing on it. All right, very good. We got 3 to 1. There we go, 2. We're coming up there. All right, very good. Let's see some
can you
more
maybe
hands.
recap on how to get 50 deals a year using your database? Just do a quick recap on what tools and what you should use to get there.
Yeah. So again, the very most important tool is going to be you. So that is the most important tool, is you. The tools that you can use to help you with that is creating those tags, tagging your entire database, adding them to that smart plan. That way you have a manageable amount of people to contact each day or each week. And then it reminds you again in 90 days to reach out to them again. Because like Justin was talking about, the way to do a lot of business is to stay top of mind no matter what. You may call somebody last year. They may have forgotten you by now. Give them a call, reconnect. If it's somebody you haven't talked to in a while, maybe apologize for not getting back to them. Ask them how everything's been, get more information, and build that database. The most important thing is adding as much information as you can for each client. The more information you have about them, the better you can serve them, the better relationship you'll have with them. And it just makes everything so much easier when you've got that info.
You have a question here from Julie. If you could clarify when using the tag field on a contact versus the second one. I'm not quite sure what she means by the second one.
Let's see. Oh, okay, Julie. All right. All right. Let's see. Gary, did you have a question for us? I see your hands raised, or are you going to be using that the DTD2 system?
I had a question. I got disconnected and I'm totally new, so I'm like lost in command. So when you tag a contact, do you tag them by like neighborhood? If they're a friend, how do you tag them? It's probably a silly question. I'm just not sure.
No, that is not silly at all. So that is the beauty of using command. You can tag them any way you'd like to. You can create your own tagging system. You can see I've got a tag for Star Wars fans and Lord of the Rings fans, if none of you could tell. I could tag all the people that are fans of those in my database like that. I can tag them as, close friend, personal sphere, acquaintance, whatever I need to let me know quickly what that person is. And the main reason we have tags is to sort and filter by those. So if we wanted to send out an email blast to all of our acquaintances, we could do that. If we want to send an email blast specifically to people in our close sphere, we could select all those people based on that tag. It really just categorizes and groups up people based on their interests or what type of relationship you have with them.
Hey,
Now-
Gary, what office are you out of?
I'm sorry, Weston.
Weston? Okay. We have Market Center Tech trainers that are available to help you. So if you need any help, please feel free to reach out to your Market Center Tech trainer. And for your Weston office, if you don't know who yours is, you have Brandon Long. All right. So
Okay, thank you.
he's awesome, and he's more than happy to help.
Yeah. Brandon is my best friend. I don't have him in my database though, because I don't have to remind myself to call him because he's my best friend. So what you and what may be very valuable for you, especially if you're new, is to add everybody in there and just start going through using that system of calling people, connecting with them, making sure that you're top of mind there. There we go. All right.
Is there a difference between the tags here and the tags that are in opportunities?
There absolutely are. So they're two completely separate tagging systems. Now, you can use those opportunity tags any way you'd like to. You can tag them based on attributes of the property. So if you wanted to look quickly through your opportunities and the history of your deals of homes that you've closed that have had a pool or homes that were of a certain type, you can filter through them that way. You can also use those opportunity tags to add buyer needs on there. That way, if you're working with a lot of buyers, they're in your pipeline, you can quickly at a glance see what they need. But they're a completely different system. If I start an opportunity with myself, this Star Wars fan and Lord of the Rings fans, they're not going to go on the opportunity itself.
Ariel got a direct message about how do you tag all your contacts for a campaign. So I guess just doing a bulk. So there's different ways of doing that.
Okay,
I'll
how
let
do
him
you
show
tag
you.
all of your contacts for a campaign? So just to get a little bit more clarity around the question, is this for a like an email campaign or?
Let's just specify it to a smart plan. Let's show that because it's pretty much the same thing regardless.
Yeah, same thing. So what you would do if you were going to, and that's actually kind of what we were doing here. If we go through our DTD2, sort by the last name. So the way we're starting that smart plan, that campaign, is by tagging people first based on that. And if I wanted to add all those people that had that specific tag to a smart plan, I would just click on my filters here, up here at the very top. And I would choose those tags. So I can just type in B and I should have a B and E tag. So once I've selected that B and E tag, I can choose apply. And now it's going to display only people with that B and E tag. So I can quickly hit select all, select bulk action, and I can add to smart plan. I'm going to add those people to that specific smart plan. If it's a lot, again, I can use that stagger to add people on each day, a different number of them.
Andrew, Terry has a question. If you could please show an example of adding notes to a contact.
Mhm.
How many notes will it hold? As far as I know, that is unlimited, right? And then what if old notes are irrelevant? Those can be deleted.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me turn my filters off. Right now, I'm just looking based on those people. So I'm going to go ahead and clear all of my filters. So let's say if I wanted to connect to Bob blah blah. So if I want to take a look at his notes, what I've left for him, I'm going to choose Bob blah blah. We can see this is the history, the timeline of our interactions with Bob. If I wanted to add an activity, so let's say if I called him, emailed him, texted him, I could hit this little plus button down here to quickly jump to my actions. You can choose add activity. Could choose the interaction types. Let's say that I called Bob blah blah today. Said hello, Mr. Loblaw. I could write any notes, buying a dog, going on vacation, as a friend that is looking for a home. And if I actually had that contact with them, I can choose has responded. That just tells the system that Bob picked up the phone. We had a conversation. So I'm going to hit
What?
save.
Well, that does more than that though.
Mhm.
So if you have a smart plan that's running and it's dependent upon that response, then it also lets the system know that, and it tells you right there. So it shows the 8x8 and the 10 days of pain. So that's an important button. We don't want to gloss over it completely.
Yeah.
So make sure if you're
yeah,
talking, put that in.
yeah, sorry about that. I should have gone over that. So this is very important. If you do have one of those smart plans that are created that requires you to say, yes, I contacted this person. That way it can move on to the next step, or it won't move on to that step and it'll do something else there. So that button is important. The gist of it means they actually picked up the phone, you spoke with them directly, or there was some kind of two-way conversation. Now we can see this note on here. Now we can't remove this activity, this log that we spoke with them on. However, if we go to our notes tab here with our contact, we can see any notes that we've created. Can add a note. Say inspection date. Inspection. We can hit save and it's going to show that note on there. So we would want to use this notes area for important information about that client. We would want to keep a log of any notes on there. If it's a conversation that we had with them, we would want to put that inside of that timeline here. So we would want to use that activity if it was a phone call. Notes would be something like, blah, 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 his hamster died yesterday. He's feeling a certain way about it. Don't bring up hamsters. That way, when you go to call him, you can check your notes and you know not to bring up hamsters if you were planning on it. Lainey, did you have a question?
I do. Can you go, so the add neighborhood, I'm looking at neighborhoods. Can you go back to timeline for me, please?
Yeah.
Okay. So timeline, you've got the inspection date, the call, phone, I'm driving down. So May 6th, you have subscribed to neighborhoods. Does that mean that he's going to get that once a month? That's just automatic, or what is, I just want to make sure that, because I have so many people that are subscribed to their neighborhood. Do they get that smart plan?
So that's the great thing about it is they're not going to get it. They're not going to get anything unless you specifically add them to that monthly neighborhood smart plan. So the monthly neighborhood nurture smart plan, it looks at the neighborhoods that they're tagged in, and then it knows which information to display to them. If you don't have this person on that smart plan, they're not going to get anything for it. This would just be purely for your benefit on there.
So why does it say subscribe to the neighborhood Crystal Beach?
So whenever we
live?
add a neighborhood to them, or in this case, this contact, since I added their home address, whenever I created it, it automatically subscribed them to that neighborhood.
Okay.
But it's not actually going to send anything out unless you use that monthly neighborhood nurture.
So can you?
That's our artificial intelligence. It's working in the background and it's finding that information and put it in place for you. So it automatically subscribes for you to that neighborhood based upon the address.
So if I want, because they live there and I want them to see what's going on in their neighborhood, do I just click on Crystal Beach to get them to get that smart, or do I have to actually set up a whole smart plan?
So the smart plan's already set up for you. All you got to do is go into that library and search for that monthly neighborhood nurture smart plan.
Okay.
And then you could just, and one other thing about contacts that is great is we've got all the information on this specific contact if we're interacting with them in command along the top here. So I can see which opportunities are a part of, which transactions they're working in. Smart plans, if they were subscribed to one, it would show up right in here. I can add them to it. So if I would just scroll through here and find that monthly neighborhood nurture. And it's already created for us. We don't have to do anything except for download it from that smart plan library. Hit select. I think I have an actual email address in here that I don't know who it is. So I'm just going to choose something else just to show you how it works. I'm going to hit confirm. And the smart plan says that it's going to send that HTML automated email, and it's pre-formatted already. We cannot change it. It's just an email that shows the neighborhood boundary, market statistics for that specific neighborhood, new listings, price reductions, and then it repeats unlimited time. So I'm going to hit confirm. And now they're on that smart plan. You can see they're a part of it.
Okay, so, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's really it. Once you add them to that smart plan, it's going to give them information on that neighborhood or multiple neighborhoods if we've assigned them to other ones.
Right, that was my question. So now, see how it says suggested neighborhoods on the left, Innswin, Palm Harbor, Autumn Woods, etc. Those are the neighborhoods that are in that smart plan, Crystal Beach Ave, correct?
So those are other neighborhoods within that area. So
Okay.
Enniswood, Palm Harbor 2, Autumn Woods, those are all around Crystal Beach. So those are neighboring neighborhoods. So
Right.
it's just giving me a quick way to add additional ones. The only
So-
information they're going to get is this one here.
That's it. Okay, so my other question is, so if I wanted to go, so say Palm Harbor, if I wanted to go, I can click on the map and I can click other areas and then add them to another smart plan as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can hit
Okay.
add neighborhood here. We can either type it in and search for it, or we can do that find on map.
Okay,
And you'll see we can just zoom all the way in
yeah.
and you'll see all these neighborhood boundaries.
And you
And we
just
could
click
just-
on the boundaries, right?
Yep.
Perfect.
We can
Okay.
just click on the ones that they're interested in. And one more really quick piece of information. It's helpful to add multiple neighborhoods to your clients.
Yeah.
The recommendation that I've seen, and that provides a lot more value to everybody, is the neighborhood that they're currently living in, the neighborhood that they want to move to or they've expressed interest in, and then the neighborhood that they grew up in. That just adds a little extra sticking point to get them to want to open up that email and view it, because everybody wants to see how their neighborhood is doing that they grew up in. So that's a little bit of information that's extremely helpful. It increases that open rate.
And Lenny, just to be clear, that's going to send them one email, and all those neighborhoods are in one email, not multiple emails. Just so you know.
So it's only going to be one email and all those different neighborhoods will be in it. So they're not going to get 42 emails with each, like Autumn Woods, Enniswood, Palm Harbor. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually-
it won't span them. It'll have just the names of the neighborhoods along the top and the header, and they can just click through
Okay.
them.
Okay. Thank you.
I would definitely suggest you send one to yourself so you can play with it. That way, when they call you, you can explain it to them if you need to.
I do, but then I get confused at what I just did. So, which is
It
normal
just-
for me.
It just takes practice. Also, lean on your MCTT. They're happy to help out with it too. So
I know we have a great MCTT.
Who is yours?
Solly.
Dolly? Yeah, she's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
yeah. All right, let's see. Do we have anything else here? Can you add a smart plan in bulk? You absolutely can, Maria. If you go to your contacts here, if I wanted to add everybody in my database to a monthly neighborhood nurture, which is not a bad idea because it's just a once a month email that's not very invasive, that gives some really great information to them, I absolutely could if I just did select all, or if I selected the people that I wanted to add to it. We choose this select bulk action button. You can see I've got the option to add to smart plan, and I can add those people to any of my smart plans that I've created or downloaded.
All right.
So
So there's a question that keeps
Bertha?
coming up, Andrew. I know we're past time, but if you can explain real quick, how do these neighborhoods get put into the neighborhood feature? Where are they coming from?
So the neighborhoods, the boundaries, all of that information, how it tells you what the name of the neighborhood and the boundary is, that comes directly from Nextdoor. So what that is, I'm right on that, right?
Correct.
Okay, yes, what I thought. Sorry, I thought of a different name. But it comes from information from Nextdoor. It's crowdsourced information. So if you've used Nextdoor, there's typically a mayor of the neighborhood. They're the one that draws the boundaries on there. You can go to Nextdoor, sign up in your neighborhood, and create the boundary for it. It's all crowdsourced information. So if a new neighborhood or new subdivision comes up, typically it's added on there pretty quickly. But that information is pulled directly from Nextdoor. We don't have any control over it since it is crowdsourced.
Berto.
Hey, hello. I just have a quick question. When you put a campaign and the person receives the email or whatever, is there option to opt out, to stop the subscription? So, but that's happen every time we're gonna send an email to that person, or it's just the first time that they receive the invitation to to be part or something. I don't know too much about command, but I got that question came to my mind.
Okay, so just to make sure I've got it right. So whenever you're adding people to those campaigns, are you asking if that email when it goes out, if they have an option to unsubscribe from emails like that?
Exactly.
They absolutely do. If we didn't provide that and it was an automated email, we could all get in big trouble from the TCPA. So it will have that option to unsubscribe. I know that we're working a little bit more around that to make it a little bit better. There's going to be improvements coming to that soon, but yeah, absolutely, there certainly is.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So I know I went a little bit over time.
Yep.
I do
You did
have
a great job.
one more quick thing, in case anybody forgot. That's really it. Thanks for coming. If you have any questions, reach out to your MCTTs or myself. I'm happy to help out anytime as well.